talk about the results and return on investment in coming to the Humanitarian Millionaires Mastermind. I would say this is probably the main question that you will be asking or you have asked yourself. And here's how I want to support you in getting clear on your answers. So, one way is you come to a call with me today and tomorrow and to discuss whatever it is that you are struggling with that I can help you solve so that you decide whether this mastermind is for you to work with me for 1 year to get these results. Results that I really want to create with every client of mine who enters this mastermind is to create your own evidence that you are the type of person who can not only replicate your UN level salary, but also you can go for boldest, biggest dreams, whether it's million or any other number. That's the biggest result I really want to create with you is to help you create your own evidence so that your brain can believe that you are someone who can create this level of outcomes in your life, right? And that return on investment, when you have created this type of result where you have shown to yourself that you are capable of doing something that you love and making the money side of things work, then is that return of investment worth it? And if so, then obviously you should join. If you believe that's not worth it, then I would love for you to answer your own question as to what would it make it worth for you to dedicate your year time committing to your vision, right? What other result you need to see for yourself that help you then say, okay, I have gotten this result out of me, out of doing this work consistently, systematically for 1 year, and therefore it was worth it. So, another result that I really want to create was every client who joins and who joined the Humanitarian Millionaires Mastermind is no longer spending or wasting time in the survival and postponing mode, but rather in the building and creating and building the vision and living the vision mode. This is another big result that I want to create. So once we create the evidence that we are capable of doing this, the next thing we want to then do is okay, whatever the vision that we have for ourselves, how can we start living this as of now and building that vision further rather than keep struggling and keep suffering in the will this work and will this not work, and can I do I need to still go back to the system or not? I really don't want anyone to be spending time on any of that if that's not where your future is. So, therefore, the other result that I want to create as part of this mastermind is for everyone living their vision as of now. How does that look like? Specifically, how does it look like when you live your vision in terms of working on the things that you actually believe in and care? How does it look like your vision in terms of being with your loved ones, right? How does it look like in terms of living in places that you are choosing? How does it look like in terms of the money that you're making? How does it look like in terms of the travel that you're making? Whatever your vision specific scenarios are that you envision that you have always wanted to do, but you haven't allowed yourself to actually live it. This is the other result that I want to create with my every one of my clients is how does living that vision as of now looks like versus constantly keep problem solving as to how we can survive here and how we can survive there and all of that, right? So that's the second result that I want to invite everyone to create and live with me. And the third one, the result that I believe is even more important than any of the results that we can create is we experience that emotional freedom through financial freedom, right? So financial freedom, obviously, we want to experience so that we can have the emotional freedom. This is really how I'm thinking about it. But also the irony is that without the emotional freedom, we can't create financial freedom. So they're very interlinked, intertwined, right? So therefore, how can we experience living life inside freely so that our internal world matches the external world versus it looks great on paper but dying inside kind of situation that we can avoid anymore, right? And I think this is something that we talk a lot about with my client. I was coaching on Wednesday, where he was saying that, okay, I went all the way to the field, I didn't want to be in the HQ, and now I'm in the field and I still feel disconnected, even though I could be doing all these things, but on paper everything looks great. I am in the duty station that I've always wanted. I wanted to be close to the people that I wanted to, but then inside it still feels like disconnected. That I'm not really doing the things that I should be. Instead, I feel like I'm just a conference organizer, right? Organizing this conference and that conference, and feeling like even if we organize all the conference in the world, problems wouldn't be solved systematically, or problems wouldn't be solved at root cause level. And when I heard him talk about this, I really feel, I think every humanitarian goes through this experience after maybe 5 years of working, 7 years of working. In my case, it was 10 years, but I also was coaching another client yesterday that she said after 2 years, she already saw how that was not really her thing anymore. And and then I was really feeling like, how can we match the on paper looking good with inside also feeling good about it, right? And that level of work where we are emotionally free, meaning we are no longer battling our survival instincts, but rather we are choosing to work on the things that we genuinely believe make sense, and also it looks good on paper as well. So both we want to match, right? And that's really what I'm wanting to focus with humanitarian millionaires who are saying, okay, I want to I want to do the big bold things, I want to shine, but also I want to feel good inside, and not only on paper, that I'm genuinely doing something that matters to me, that matters to the people that I'm doing this with, and that's really what I want to, the result that I want to create. And that all of that results that I talked about, first the evidence to yourself, right? Evidence that you create for yourself that says you are capable of working on the things that you want to and making the money that you want to. That's the first evidence we want to create. That's the result number one. And the more we create that result, the more your inner system starts trusting yourself to say, oh, if I can do this, then I can do other things as well, right? And then the second one, as I said, is how can we start living the vision now instead of keep working towards it, or keep imagining it, keep walking there but never living it, kind of thing. So we want to start looking at, okay, what is the indication of you living the vision? What would tell us that you are actually living the vision versus you're just again trying to get there somehow? And then the third result is, how can we make the authentic self inside, genuine self inside, the fulfillment, the meaning that we really want to have in our lives, how can we have that match what is on paper as well, right? And if it's not matching, if they are two different things, like I was talking about my client's example, then how can we work on the thing that actually matters to us? And in his case, he wants to really dedicate his time to his own NGO, right? And your maybe genuine, meaningful way of doing work is something similar or maybe something totally different. Whatever it is, how can we match the inner world with the outer world is really the result that I would like to create with you. So, whatever your understanding of, if I can create this outcome within the year of working on my boldest dreams, whether you do it with me or on your own, I really would like for you to answer these questions as to what are the results that I want to get out by the end of this, doing this systematically, right? And also, if you decide to work with me, then what results would be worth for me that I can say I have gotten the investment, my investment worth out of working together, right? Because I have done so many investments in myself, and the biggest ROIs that I have gotten, I have learned how not to be in a burnout anymore. And I have also learned not to be in depression mode anymore or getting out of depression. And I think knowing and having that freedom to know that I never need to be in depression anymore, or I know how to get myself out of it, I know what tools I can use to not be in it, I think has been the biggest result that I have created in my life by investing in myself. And the other one that I keep talking about, which is the biggest ROI that I have created for myself, is that freedom to know that I'm someone who's capable of making whatever the money work, doing what I love. And I think that's the freedom, the emotional and financial freedom that we're talking about. That's probably the biggest ROI that I can help you generate for you. And that's the, I don't know, if any skill in life that I would say is the most important for people to be thriving in their lives, that will be the skill. And there are a lot of other ROIs that I have created, obviously, but I really want everyone to get serious about what ROI is worth doing this work, right? Whether it is you creating your evidence that you're capable of doing this, you creating the evidence that you no longer need to be a victim to your own emotions, you creating the evidence that you are someone who can, as of now, live the vision instead of just keep waiting and keep postponing or keep wondering and actually never taking action, right? um, Maybe the ROI that's important to you is never being in burnout anymore and instead going full on living the life that you want to. Whatever the ROI that's worth it, I would like for you to take those ROI seriously and say, okay, how do I now create these ROIs, whether you work with me or not? Okay. But if you decide to work with me, or if you have questions about the mastermind itself, if you have questions maybe about your own results that you want to create, but still your inner objections keep killing your desires and you don't know what to do with them, then you should absolutely come talk to me. Come talk to me even today. So you can even message me and say, Asal, I need to talk to you today. Even if my calendar has weird settings and it doesn't allow you to schedule, you can do that as well. Because my goal is to really get everyone to take their own visions and desires and deep, deep cravings for the life they want to seriously. And I will leave you with this. And this is something that I was really thinking about yesterday, that if the UN invited us. So imagine if UN invited, I don't know, everyone, announced everywhere that in 6 years you can, I don't know, have the financial freedom of $1 million. and working on the causes that you care about, come and apply and justify to us why you are the great candidate for that role. And the UN also obviously said something like, note that there will be 3,000 people applying to that position the way that you are applying. And then what are the justifications or arguments you would come up with to convince UN that you are that person? And I'm sure every person who would see that type of ad and that type of job announcement, I'm sure people would come up with all the possible ways to prove to UN that you are capable of doing it. Now, instead of UN doing it, I'm asking or I'm imploring you to do it with yourself, right? So instead of UN telling you, let me guarantee you or let me offer you this type of job stability and job reward at this level, instead of UN doing it, you are doing this to yourself. But then, unfortunately, whenever we do this with ourselves, whenever we say, okay, how can I guarantee to myself that this is what happens in 5, 6 years in my own life? So, therefore, let me start showcasing all the ways as to how capable I am. We somehow get very confused about it, right? We somehow lose all of our arguments as to how and why we are capable of doing it. Or even if we're saying it in words, we actually don't mean that. And my job as a way to help humanitarians remove their dependency or remove their addiction to the UN or to the system, one of the ways that I have found to motivate them, to inspire them, and most importantly to create this strong drive that can trump any fear, and that drive is creating this level of big results, right? And in order to have that drive, to grow that drive, obviously we need to solve all of the problems or all of the fears and all of the objections that your inner critic keeps coming up with, so that this drive can grow and you can actually commit to creating it. But when it comes to our own vision and our own bold dreams, we don't tend to be so good at arguing and selling ourselves on how we're capable of. We're usually good at the opposite, right? And my job as your coach is to help you um, bring up all your arguments as to why you're actually very capable. And I really want to leave the other message with everyone, which is, if in life, if there is a number one thing that we can get good at so that every other aspect of our lives get improved or get free in the way that we want to, what would that thing we need to be working on? And for me, I have realized the number one thing that I can work on in my own life that makes me emotionally and financially free all the time is my ability to create the impact, the results that I want to, whatever those results impacts are. My ability to do that by solving whatever problem in the way and creating that result, creating that impact, that is what gets me free financially, emotionally. Because financially, because people, when I help them create those results, they will be always paying me. And emotionally, because I know that what it takes to create those results and impact. I also know that that's the number one skill that I can help any human being on earth. And that's actually the reason why I can always choose to work here. I can always choose to work from anywhere. I can always choose to work with clients I want to. That is what allows me to have that freedom, right? That also allows me to have that freedom to be not accepting other things that I don't want to, or not going to environments that I don't want to. So that's why I really want everyone who is listening to also think about what is the number one thing or skill or ability that I need to have that allows me to be financially and emotionally free in my own life. And whatever that skill or ability that you have, that is what I would like for us to create. Because the result that I want to create with my clients in this mastermind is really this: is how can you create your own evidence, your own result of you being capable of doing it, and the minute you see that you are capable of it, then everything starts changing. It feels like, oh my god, now I'm free, I can do whatever I want to, right? Even if the ability to replicate your own salary that you used to have, and if you can do this somewhere else and you have given yourself that evidence that you can do that, then all of a sudden you start questioning whether you should even accept that job that you've been offered, even though you don't want to. And that's the ability we are going for. And if you want to do this, then talk to me today and sign up. The deadline is 23rd August, so it's this Sunday. I see there's someone with a comment. Let me just see. Ah, yes. Thank you, Sophie. I love that Sophie is in my journey everywhere I go. I'm taking that. Okay, my dears, I have talked to you about three main results that I believe are worth any investment that you can make. Go and sign up to work with me so that we can start making those results and ROIs. Have a beautiful week. Talk to you soon.